Hi everybody, I'm Paula Webster.
And I'm Michael Webster.
I wonder if you can guess what we've been doing for the last 5 years.
Well, Paula and I have been living wild in South America, filming birds.
We've travelled from Tierra del Fuego in the far south all the way north to the Caribbean, crisscrossing the Andes a dozen times. In this short film, we're going to share with you our top 10 favourite birds.
There are about 11,000 species of birds in the world, and 3,500 of these are to be found just in South America. It's not surprising, therefore, that South America is the best continent for birds.
Deciding on our top 10 birds has been really difficult.
In fact, mission impossible. There are so many birds that didn't make it into our top 10.
The potoos, I love them.
Yes, and the hoatzin.
Oh, they're weird things, aren't they? And those foliage
gleaners.
That's
I don't
it.
even remember seeing them.
But there you are. There's hundreds of birds that we could have chosen from, but we've got to narrow it down to 10.
I wonder if you can guess what some of them are. I tell you what, pause the film, you write your own list, and I bet that your list will be completely different to ours.
Come on then, let's start.
Well, coming in at number 10, it's going to be a seabird, but there are so many to choose from. The oceans round the continent are some of the richest anywhere, with the Humboldt Current sweeping up the Pacific coast. Offshore islands, like this rock, are a favourite nesting place for cormorants, in particular the red-legged cormorant.
A little further up the coast, following the fishing boats off Parrots in Peru, you can see Inca terns. Of all the terns, this definitely takes the top spot with its blood red bill and long white whiskers.
But to find the seabird we have chosen, we will have to travel much further south, to a tiny island just off the Atlantic coast of Argentina. And there you'll see our number 10, the rockhopper penguin. This penguin makes it onto our list because of its comical appearance. And, well, everybody loves penguins.
In at number 9 is a bird that represents the migrants that traverse the neotropics every year. It's a wader that breeds in the Arctic and travels as far south as Argentina for its non-breeding season. It was once hunted almost to oblivion in the United States. Number 9, the buff-breasted sandpiper. Working with Calidris, the BirdLife partner in Colombia, we track these down during their migration to the grasslands of the Colombian Llanos. One of their chief scientists, Carlos Ruiz, and ourselves, we spent 3 weeks searching for these elusive birds. Carlos wanted us to make a film that he could use with the local farmers to promote the traditional way of cattle ranching in the area.
But what about number 8? It's going to be a flamingo. There are 6 species of flamingo in the world, and 4 of them are found in South America. The best place to see 3 of them together at the same time is Mar Chiquita.
Now, Mar Chiquita, that was the focus of the 2018 Bird Fair.
Remember?
And that's when £300,000 was raised to help create Argentina's newest national park.
A fantastic place. But our actual choice for number 8 is the Caribbean flamingo. This magnificent bird has the brightest plumage of any of the flamingos. Tracking it down wasn't easy. We had to negotiate our way through the marshes and salt pans on the Caribbean coast of Colombia. And look where that got us.
So that's our first 3 species. Now let's have some passerines. The next species is so distinctive, so flamboyant and so South American, there's nothing like it anywhere else in the world. Number 7, the cock of the rock. The place to see them is at their leg, a stage on which they perform their courtship display, always in deep tropical forest. We saw these on the Manu Road in southern Peru.
Every birder that's ever been to tropical South America wants to see tanagers. 60% of all the tanager species in the world are found in South America, and 30% of these only in the Andes. The tropical Andes are a bird watcher's heaven.
Imagine having these as garden birds.
Our personal choice, and coming in at the number 6 slot in our top 10, is one of the hardest tanagers to find. Number 6, the gold-ringed tanager, a Colombian endemic and once rated as an endangered species. Some good news though, as recent survey work by Calidris, the BirdLife partner in Colombia, has lifted it out of this category.
OK, so how does your list compare to ours so far? Now, which iconic group haven't we chosen yet? Hummingbirds. Oh, and there's so many to choose from. Name a colour and we'll show you a hummingbird. Hermits in the deep forest, Jacobins, pufflegs and solitaires coming to feeders. Feeders are a great place to study and identify them.
And wonderful though feeders are, I like to see hummingbirds in their natural habitat and at their chosen food source. The very top of the tropical Andes in Colombia is a special habitat, the Paramo, and that's where you'll find our number 5, the Buffy helmet crest. It's adapted to life at 4,500 metres. Its short bill means it can more easily pick off protein-rich insects, and it survives in the cold and the wet conditions by clinging onto flowers whilst it feeds. It doesn't waste time hovering like its low altitude cousins. Now there's a bird to admire.
Oh, definitely. Now then, that only leaves 4 to go, and there's so many contenders to choose. The rest are all going to be non-passerines.
We have to have a parrot. It could be the turquoise-fronted, the blue-headed, or the green-cheeked.
We thought long and hard about choosing the burrowing parrots of Patagonia that nest on the Atlantic-facing cliffs. It's wonderful to see them at sunrise streaming out from their burrows over the sea.
But no, it's going to have to be a macaw from Brazil. Number 4, the gorgeous red and green macaw. Red to echo the savannah, green to mirror the trees, and blue for the Brazilian sky.
Pedaço do Brasil em formato de coração. Pedaço do Brasil em formato de coração.
Now, close your eyes for a moment and think of South American birds. What haven't we mentioned yet? Our top 3 may come as a surprise.
In at the number 3 slot is a bird from one of the ancient lineage of ratites, the biggest birds that ever roamed the planet. Birds such as the moas from New Zealand, or the elephant birds of Madagascar. Number 3, Darwin's rhea, the species discovered by Charles Darwin himself during his voyage on the Beagle.
The only person ever to discover a new bird by examining the bones on his plate after he'd just eaten it.
The male Darwin's rhea looks after the young in creches. Heavily persecuted, they are no longer common, so the Conservation Land Trust have set up an exciting breeding programme for them in the heart of the new Patagonia National Park in southern Chile.
Our next species is one you've probably been waiting for. Number 2, the mighty Andean condor. A bird dominating the legends and myths of South America's indigenous peoples. The bird who takes your soul to heaven.
So then, what is our number 1, our chart-topping bird?
It's a bird few people have ever seen.
They breed in one of the most inhospitable yet awe-inspiring places in South America, the wind-swept volcanic plateaus of Patagonia. It's incredibly beautiful.
And was only discovered in the 1970s.
It hovers around extinction. There are only about 800 of the birds left. Let me introduce to you the number 1 bird, the hooded grebe. We spent 6 months working with Aves Argentinus, the BirdLife partner in Argentina, to film the work of their conservation project, and were the first people to film the entire courtship dance of this incredible bird. This is Patagonia, wild and windswept. This is a bird, the hooded grebe, wild and beautiful. A bird with a courtship as passionate as any tango. A tango in the wind. Both landscape and bird under threat from the hand of man. But now there are people fighting to save this bird. It's a race against time. Will they succeed? I'm sure your top 10 is just as exciting as ours. After all, there are 3,500 birds to choose from. There is nowhere in the world quite like South America.
And to see more of our films about the amazing bird life in South America, visit our website living-wild.net.